guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an article that's really starting to circulate titled, Guy Calls Off Wedding After Fiancée Nearly Offs His Dog. And a big shout out to Melissa for sending me this article. For once, actually, a female viewer sent me this thing. And this is all about a guy. He is 28 years old. He's been with this girlfriend of his for 4 years, engaged for 6 months, and so he's about to get married. And one night, she had her bachelorette party, and he left so she could have all her girls at her house, and his dog was there. And long story short, they all got drunk, and they were leaving alcohol around and chocolates out around. They can easily be accessible to the dog because anybody that has a dog knows that chocolate is fatal to a dog. It'll kill it. And long story short, they weren't paying attention, and the dog started drinking all that alcohol, eating up chocolate, and almost died. Okay, and somebody let him know. Fortunately, he's able to come there and rescue the dog, and everything's okay with the dog, thank God. But anyhow, after that, called off the wedding. Said it's over, we're done. And as you can imagine, she freaked out, and even worse is that he's getting bombarded by family and friends, both on her side and his, that how could he do such a thing? It was a stupid decision, yada, yada, yada. And this comes about because this guy actually posted this story on Reddit. And as you can imagine, this thing just spread like wildfire. And I think he did absolutely the right thing with this whole thing, that in my opinion, I love animals. I am an absolute animal lover from the moment I was born. In fact, I like animals more than people. And it's only more as I get older. And I don't have a dog. I'm actually a cat person, which shocks a lot of you guys when I mentioned I got 2 cats at home. I've had them for 12 years since they were little cubs. And let me tell you, if anybody ever did anything to my cats, ever, whether it was on purpose or by mistake, it would be full scorched earth on them. I'd go full Punisher on them, especially if it was done on purpose. And in this story here, you can't blame the guy at all. So I'm going to go over this here, guys, and I want you guys to respond in the comments section. For you dog lovers out there or animal lovers, if you were engaged, for you relationship guys, if someone or a woman you're with did that, was so negligent that your dog almost died, what would you do? Would you end it with her immediately? I'd like to hear about it. So it starts off, he says, leading up to the big day, many people often second guess if they are marrying the right person. One man realized he was about to make a huge mistake after his fiancée neglected his dog, leading to the pet nearly dying. It says here, my fiancée and I have been together for 4 years, engaged for 6 months. The man wrote via Reddit, according to the Mirror. I've had a 7-year-old lab mix who is the greatest dog in existence. The 28-year-old man explained that his fiancée had a bachelorette party at home, and he left the dog with her because she likes having him there. During the party, he received a call letting him know that the dog had taken a turn for the worse. He says, 2 of her friends were there, so they told me that my dog is alive but not well. I felt sorry for her for an entire 10 minutes while waiting for the doctor, he continued. But then the doctor told me that my dog ingested large amounts of alcohol and chocolate edibles. The girls apparently thought it would be cool to leave everything out on short coffee tables, leave the dog to wander around instead of putting it in our bedroom, and then got wasted and not noticed he was going to town with the booze and edibles. She should have known better. Absolutely. And her friends, I would imagine there's other dog people in that group, because, a lot of women like dogs too, to know darn well you don't leave that out. All right? Complete negligence. Now, some people probably are thinking immediately, this is a bit overreacting because of the dog. Bullshit. Because this dog is obviously so important to this guy. His fiancée ought to know better. However, there are some really sad stories out there that you hear about from time to time, how the woman wants the guy's attention all to herself and literally throws out an ultimatum. It's me or the dog or the cat. And a lot of these weak-ass guys end up finding new homes for their dogs or their cats to keep the woman around. Or in some situations, I've heard stories how the woman will accidentally, the door opens up and the dog or cat runs away and they never see him again. Stuff like that. So, bullshit. No excuse for this, okay? And by the way, what do you think this says about her? If she is this way towards his dog, how is she going to be in terms of responsibility for a future child one day? Or other important things? Is she going to be this negligent, amongst many other things? This says a hell of a lot. Unforgivable, in my opinion. After the vet visit, once they arrived back at home, he told his bride-to-be, pack her bags and get out of his house and his life. Yes, good for this guy. The dog comes first. How many times do I tell you guys, for you guys out there that are single or whatever in relationships. Your purpose, your goals, ambitions come first. Then your health. Then your friends, your closest bros, and then your family, but also tied in with your bros, your dog or your cat or your pets. The woman comes dead last. Some people hate that I say that, but I don't care. It's the freaking truth. Because who's going to be more loyal to you to the end? Your dog or your girl? I think we all know the answer to that one. I told her to tell her guests the wedding is off, and I'll tell mine. She was shocked, but she took things and left, he said, adding that her family then hit him with an avalanche of texts. 2 hours later, I got bombarded by messages on Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp by her sisters and brother's wife, her mom, her friends, telling me that I am insane to do this to her after 4 years. He detailed, adding, they started off defending her, but it quickly turned to insulting me. Well, of course. And oh yeah, by the way, like he's going to stick around now after they're bombarding him with insults and other things like that. Yeah, sure, he'll really change his mind and go back to being engaged to her. He knew that even his family was on her side. My mom said, well, it was a mistake. She didn't do it on purpose. I got to wonder about that. Besides, the dog didn't die. He says, lucky me, huh? The dog didn't die. He wrote, my sister was appalled that I'm canceling the wedding over that. And even my best man said I might have overreacted. What is with these people? Aren't these people, don't they have pets? Don't they realize how close the bond is between a man and his dog or a man, whatever pet he may have? And they're just like, it's just the dog, or well, the dog didn't die. Yeah, well, the dog could have died. That's the point. Fortunately, he was contacted and got to the dog soon enough. They were able to save the dog's life. Unforgivable. And his own family is starting this bullshit. But what have I told you guys about the family, the mothers? They want to be grandmas. They want to participate in the big wedding and all that. And besides, I'm assuming it's probably him putting up a lot of the money for this thing. Screw them. Goes on, the man also shared their relationship has had its ups and downs, but it's mostly worked fine. Adding that he just can't seem to get over her carelessness regarding his dog. What I tell you guys, pay attention to a woman's actions. Pay attention to the fact that he said we've had our ups and downs. Now, sure, all relationships can have ups and downs, but the way he kind of worded it there makes you think it isn't just your minor ups and downs and disagreements over this and that. He says, I am so disgusted by my fiancée that I can't even imagine looking her in the eye, let alone spending my whole life with her. She isn't 17, she is 27. Translation, she's a grown-ass woman that should have freaking known better. The man explained that it isn't just about the dog, but that his former bride-to-be is negligent and irresponsible in many other ways. So she has a history of this type of thing, like not just with the dog, but in other ways. This is the final nail in the coffin. It's done. I don't want to stick around and possibly see our child die in a car accident someday because she was texting or she forgot to put a seatbelt on. I'd rather be an a-hole now than spend my years of my life worrying every time our child's left alone with her. He wrote, I guess I realize I don't want to spend my life with someone who has such a blatant disregard for human or animal life. Exactly. Like you said, there's been ups and downs, and she demonstrated other examples of negligence and things like this, but that was it. And I think he did the absolute right thing. He's not the a-hole. This guy's a hero. Absolutely. Now, that was the article. Now I'm going to go and read the actual Reddit post that he did so you can see, because there's a little more detailed about that, which I figure you guys want to hear. And the actual Reddit post is, he says, am I the a-hole for canceling my wedding because my fiancé almost off my dog? He says, me, a 28-year-old male, and my fiancée, a 27-year-old female, have been together for 4 years. Engaged for 6 months. I also have a 7-year-old lab mix who is the greatest dog in existence. I'd love to see what that dog looked like, but the dog is so cute. On Saturday, fiancé had a bachelorette party at home. I stayed with my parents, but I left the dog with her because she likes having him there. However, I made sure to tell her to put the dog in her bedroom once the party gets going. Aha, that little detail that wasn't in the article. He made sure to tell her, put the dog in the bedroom. So he's trusting her, which was a very precious thing to him. She doesn't give a shit. 5 a.m. on Sunday, I get a frantic call that something's wrong with the dog. She was drunk, so I told her to get a taxi and go to the emergency vet clinic. When I got there, she looked like she hadn't stopped crying for hours, and she couldn't even speak. 2 of her friends were there, so they told me that my dog is alive but not well. I felt sorry for her for an entire 10 minutes while waiting for the doctor. So she's still, at 5 o'clock in the morning, she's still trashed. I have no tolerance, no patience for drunks. None. I don't care at your freaking bachelorette party. You can't have a good time without getting so piss-ass drunk that still at 5 o'clock in the morning you're still trashed. People think I'm just a boring old man, but I don't give a shit. But then the doctor told me the dog ingested large amounts of alcohol and chocolate edibles. The girls apparently thought it'd be cool to leave everything out on short coffee tables, leave the dog to wander around instead of putting him in our bedroom, and then get wasted and not notice he was going to town on the booze and edibles. It's terrible. I would have nothing to do with all these assholes, and I would make her pay for the freaking vet bill. What do you think about that? When we got home, I told my fiancée to pack her stuff and get out of my house and my life. I told her to tell her guests the wedding is off and I'll tell mine. She was shocked, but she took her things and left. 2 hours later, I got bombarded by messages. I read this part, trying to find new stuff here. He says here, the logical thing for me to do was look for comfort in my friends and family. Okay, that wasn't mentioned in the article. Nope, they all effing agree. My mom said, well, it was a mistake. She didn't do it on purpose. Besides, the dog didn't die. He says, lucky me, huh? My dog didn't effing die. Yeah, thanks, Mom. Again, what I tell you about the mothers want to be mother of the groom. They want to be grandmas. The rock star of the wedding is always the bride. But who are the runner-up rock stars? The mother of the bride, mother of the groom. Now she's pissed because she can't participate in that type of thing. My sister was appalled I even canceled the wedding over that. Screw your sister. Who gives a shit about your sister? What say does she have? What say do any of them honestly have? It's this guy's freaking life. And even my best man said I might have overreacted. Smack. I'd slap the shit out of that best friend. Yes, our relationship had ups and downs, but it mostly worked fine. But I'm so disgusted by my fiancée, and I can't imagine looking her in the eye, let alone spending my whole life with her. She isn't effing 17, she's 27. And he says here, by the way, this isn't the first dumb thing she has ever done. She likes to text while driving. Aha, now we're getting there. She always leaves stuff on the electric stove, like kitchen towels and cutting boards, etc., even though she has turned on the wrong burner and burnt whatever it was on several times in the past, and similar dangerous things. It's not something I hold against her in the sense I would ever mention in a fight, but I'd be lying to say if I wasn't worried that she might end up killing herself or someone else, for example, my dog. Okay, now again, this wasn't in the article, convenient. Has her history of texting and driving, leaving stuff in the car while driving, leaving stuff on the stove, things have gotten burned. Again, he has genuine concern about his future children in her hands. He's a jackass. Complete flake. And quite frankly, with all these things that he's been experiencing, I would have never gone so far as to stay with her, let alone be engaged to her. But the dog, that was the final thing here. I'm 99% sure where I stand with my decision, but am I really an a-hole? Literally, nobody is on my side, and I have no idea what to think. So that is the end of that thing, and in no way, shape, or form, in my opinion, is he an a-hole. She has a proven history of constant negligence and being a total flake and letting things go. And I would, if I was him and married her, not that I would, and had kids, I would always be concerned about the kids. Again, I mean, I've seen young millennial mothers that text and drive when the kids are right there in the car. I haven't seen this, but I've heard the stories happen from people I know. I had a client, who regularly would do that. One time she backed into somebody in the parking lot of a grocery store or something like that. She wasn't paying attention. The kid wasn't in the car, but she was doing that whole thing. So, no way. I would not trust it at all. And again, that dog is like his child. 7 years he raised that dog, and he's going to potentially let her do that to that dog again, and it would probably happen, or leave the door open, the dog goes running in the neighborhood, never see him again, and you just can't expect this. So no, in my opinion, 100%, this guy is not the a-hole, did the right thing, kicked her, sent her ass packing, the dog comes first. End of story, in my opinion. All right, guys, it's a quick one, but I thought it'd be a good one to share before it starts really popping everywhere, in case you didn't hear it already. So let me know in the comment section, guys. Is this guy the a-hole? How would you handle the situation? Your dog or your cat or whatever you love so much, in this situation, somebody messed up that badly, what would you do? Would you kick her to the curb or give her a second chance? I know what I would do. Not a chance in hell. My cats, they're my kids. I love them to death. I'd be going full scorched earth if that ever happened. All right, guys, and be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.